God did not create you. He created the vehicle for your essence. So that is your spirit is part of a vehicle. The physical body is a part of that vehicle. The entire universe, the planet, everything is something that you can identify as being something. If there's anything that you can say is something, then God created that. But you are not something. The essence of you is not a something any more than God is something. God is not something. And so the problem is people think that God created us. God created the essence of you or what you are. And that runs along all lines of faiths and religions, both from Hindu to Christianity to every cotton-picking faith and religion you can imagine. Almost all of them, if they address the issue, will come out and eventually say, yes, God created us. But that sets up a paradox where you have something that is perfect, meaning God, and supposedly this God created something that's imperfect. The very notion of that idea or thought sets up a system in your mind of cognitive dissonance where somehow you're able to rationalize that perfection can create imperfection. And that is absolutely not possible. So the other flip side of the coin, what non-duality believes, is that God created us, but we aren't what we appear to be. So after we eliminate the ego and this and that and everything else, and you eliminate the body and you eliminate, what do you come down to? And that is that you are God. Non-duality basically, no, not basically, non-duality, when you boil it down to its core essence, says that you are God. So, and the way they put that together is, it's like my hand saying it isn't me, it isn't a part of my body. Well, that's absurd. Of course, my hand. Or you take a blood, a molecule of blood or a cell of blood, and it's screaming out, I'm not a part of you. Well, of course it's a part of me. It's, it doesn't matter what it thinks or says, it's a part of this body. And that's, of course, the way non-duality believes. And that cell is what you think you are. And so when you become so-called enlightened in non-duality, which is actually an oxymoron because anyone that believes in non-duality cannot be enlightened. It goes against all rational thinking. So the problem with that is it's like, another way they look at it is that it's like they say, well, you have a drop of water in the ocean and it evaporates or whatever, and it goes up in the sky and it's not a part of the ocean. And it thinks it's not a part of the ocean, but at some point along the line, it'll rain down and it'll go down the rivers and it will come here, there. Eventually it'll end up back at the ocean again, and voila, it is now part of the ocean, or it is the ocean. But herein lies the problem. The concept of ocean is a construct in the mind of people that are accepting the notion of cognitive dissonance is a word that comes to my head. Another possibility is just believing in a construct that doesn't exist. There's no such thing, and I'm not speaking philosophically, or I'm not even speaking in being cute or trying to twist your mind. I'm just telling you the thought or notion that there is an ocean is absurd, because there's no such thing as an ocean. Don't you get it? The only reason you say there's an ocean is because there is an infinite amount of single atoms of water, or single molecules of water made up of atoms of oxygen and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. H2O, they say, is water. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, I've never dissected an atom to know that it's 2 parts oxygen, 1 part hydrogen, or whatever. But be that as it may, that's what they say. But so there's no such thing as an ocean. Does that make sense to you? I mean, so they say the ocean is God, and the little particles of water are what you are. So you're actually a part of the ocean. But that's 180 degrees out of whack. It's totally asinine. There's no such thing as an ocean without the individual atoms of water. Or, I'm sorry, the molecules of water. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm assuming it does not make sense to you, because otherwise you would agree with me. And essentially nobody agrees with me. So you have this block in your head that you can't get around. You've accepted the corrupt teaching that has been around for tens of thousands of years. Again, there's no such thing as an ocean without individual molecules. The only thing that is real is the individual molecules. The ocean is not real. Somebody saw a vast amount of single molecules and ignorantly assumed it to be one thing. And then they said, oh, well, that's an ocean. Rather than saying, because see, this started tens of thousands of years ago when they didn't understand the minuscule aspect of what reality truly is. And so they assumed, well, it has to be a single item. But it isn't a single item. That's a construct made up by mankind that said, oh, there is an ocean. But that isn't true. It is a mass of an infinite number of single items, and that's all it is. So, non-duality is not true. Non-duality is a corrupt teaching. The reality is there is an infinite number of you, essences, individualized, that exist on your own 2 feet, so to say. You don't need the power of God to create you. Well, let me backtrack there. The essence of what you are was not created by God, but the awareness that you are right now that gives you the intellect to watch a video and to try to comprehend what I'm saying, that aspect of you needed God, because God created the universe and this and that and the body and everything else to allow the essence of what you are to develop to the point where you are right now watching a video. So yeah, you did need God for that aspect, but God did not actually create you. You created yourself with all the products provided by God. Now, why, you might ask yourself, at least that's where I started from many years ago, you ask yourself, that being the case, why is non-duality taught? What is the point and purpose to corrupt the minds of individuals to teach them that they don't exist, that in fact what they are is God? Why would that be an important thing to teach, knowing that it was taught to corrupt the truth. That's the whole point of this reality, is to corrupt the truth so that you develop yourself based upon faith. So the reason is it should be obvious, but it isn't. If you take Christianity, for instance, that's a good one. You have Jesus who died on a cross for our sins, blah, blah, blah. But what's the point of that story of Jesus? Well, the point of it is that at some point along your path where you're going, you can look back and you can look around and say, whoa, I don't like this way I'm going. I want to switch gears and go a different direction. Well, through the process of sin, there's no way to wipe that clean. You can change course, but there's no way to wipe that clean because it is what it is. Now, when you get into the aspect of thinking that you are God, you're never going to change course. Does that make sense? You're always going to go this direction, and you can look back and analyze and say, you know what? Maybe I'm not as good a person as I should be. But you're not going to ever really analyze that, because what you're going to do is go, but the bottom line is I'm God, so I am what I am. I'll continue being what I am and everything else, rather than recreate yourself. See, since you created yourself from nothing, you get to recreate yourself along the path once you get to this point. When I say this point, as a human being existing in a realm where there are so many choices, it's unbelievable. And it requires faith, it requires this, it requires that. I'm kind of blabbering all over the point here, but I'm trying to answer people because it's so prevalent, the teaching that God created you, the Absolute created you, Brahman created you, Christianity says God created you, Jesus was God, and blah, 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 blah. All of this is not true. So, moving on to the next aspect of what just popped into my head. I will tell you, with beyond shadow of a doubt, that I have proof positive the things I'm telling you are true. Now, I can't give that proof positive to you any more than I could give you a lemon that I might be eating through the camera to you. I can't give you the lemon. You actually have to go to the damn refrigerator, the farm, the tree, and get your own lemon and eat it. I can't give it to you. In the same sense, the proofs I'm telling you about, you got to go get them yourself. Of course, I could tell you a process that might help you get that lemon, and that's the whole point of what gurus are all about, and prophets and teachers and et cetera, et cetera. They're all trying to teach you how to go get something on your own, because there's zero possibility that they can give it to you. So I'm saying the same thing. I have absolute proof of what I'm telling you is true. I didn't read it in any books. You read books, you study, you do this for many, many decades, and eventually you become, not eventually, but you might become enlightened. You might have inspiration. You might have direct contact through the medium of the Spirit of God confirming to you that you're on the right path or whatever. That's what's happened to me. I really don't give a damn if you believe me. It's nothing to me. I know that throughout my life, people, for the most part, all people, basically they attack me when I say stuff like that. It's like I should keep my mouth shut. I should believe the normal, everyday, common dogma that is taught everywhere. But I don't. That's why I got to where I'm at now. If you believe the common dogma and you want to stay on that path, then don't watch my videos. Go read your damn books, get your heads deep, deep in the sand, and get back to your reality that you enjoy. And that particular reality is never going to alter the path on which you're on. That's the reason in this Kali Yuga, the only thing that exists is bullshit for the most part. I'm not giving you bullshit, but that's why I'm different than everyone. That's why I'm telling you everything out there is bullshit. Now, that doesn't mean I'm negative against organized religion, faiths, and everything. I mean, you got to start somewhere. I mean, I've been told that, it would have been better to never crack the book of a Bible or the Vedas or anything else. I've had people tell me that, but I don't believe that. I think that it's good to educate yourself and to become aware of what is reality and what people are teaching. When I say reality, this false reality, and then that's how you are able to decide, wait, I don't like that. That's not true. This is true, blah, blah, blah. And eventually you get to the point where nothing is really divinely true. And so then you're left with, oh, wow, then what? If I can't find, well, that's exactly where Buddha got, you see. Him sitting under that tree before he became enlightened was he got to the point where none of this is true. It's all bullshit. And so he's going to sit there and just perish, die, because it's like his attitude was, I just can't do this anymore. I'm at the end of my rope. It's all bullshit. And do you really honestly think he got out some magic book and started reading and became enlightened? No, absolutely not. What happened was, through exasperation and everything, he threw in the towel for everything. But if you don't have a towel to throw in, there's nothing to throw in. So you have to do all the groundwork first before you can reject it. Does that make sense? So Buddha had to do all the groundwork. He had to do all the learning and the teaching and going through the whole process before he could have a validated rejection of it. So you have to do the same thing. I did it. Took me 50 frickin' years to do it. But that's what you have to do. And then you got that direct link straight up, vertical, to the source, to the creator. And when that happens, wow, it's like everything changes, everything. And I mean everything. Anyways, thank you for your watching. There's a million questions, so there's zero possibility that I could address something that's pertinent to you. So I just have to blow it out there, whatever I think is inspires me for the day. Anyways, thank you for watching. You guys have a good day. Bye.